right, hello everybody. This is another short demo video for the ZEOS shielded protocol, which is now deployed on the UX public testnet. And yeah, I just wanted to show everyone real quick how you would set up the ZEOS command line interface on your machine in order to try out the protocol. So yeah, you will need an Ubuntu machine for this. So this is Ubuntu 22. It might also work with older Ubuntu versions, but yeah, best is to just install the latest one. And yeah, so this is only for the command line interface. That's the only supported operating system. The graphical user interface wallet that we put out is going to be a browser application again, which makes it easier to distribute it, and yeah, it's also platform independent, so you will be able to try it out with that as well on any using any operating system. But yeah, for this one you will need Ubuntu. And also in general, I really want to encourage people to rather use Ubuntu for the crypto stuff than, you know, let's say Windows, because yeah, for security reasons, you really don't want to use Windows for your crypto stuff, in my opinion. Okay, let's go. So this is the repository that I set up for this, and yeah, here you find all the instructions that you need. You can copy paste most of it, and yeah, should work without any problems. So let's try. Yeah, I'll just create another folder for this real quick. Let's do it all from here. And yeah, the first thing we need to do is we need to download Leap in order to install ZEOS, which is like the command line interface for Antelope blockchains, right? So the ZEOS CLI is basically the ZEOS version of ZEOS, but it uses ZEOS under the hood. So that made it much easier for me to develop this. So it's not so user-friendly, you know, but this is not about user-friendliness. It's really just to show the protocol and to have, you know, some tools that work. And I always try to reuse as much as I can. So yeah, we downloaded Leap and then we install it like this. Need to type in our super user password. And that's it. And then when we type in ZEOS version full, it should print something like this here. And that shows you that ZEOS is properly installed. And the next thing we do is we're going to download the ZEOS command line interface like this. And then we need to make it executable with this command like this. And yeah, then next we need to fetch the parameter files for ZK Snark creation. And yeah, these three files is what we later need to generate in this famous trusted ceremony, which is this multi-party computation where you have, you know, a number of people involved in order to make the setup secure. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. This is also not too important. I mean, for the average user, as this only has to happen once when we launch the protocol, and then once we perform the setup to generate these three files, we never have to touch them ever again. So from now, we just download the ones that I created for the protocol demo. And then, yeah, this is the command to start the binary, the command line interface. Let's wait real quick here for this. All right. And yeah, this is what it looks like. It is a little bit different from ZEOS. ZEOS has the key store as a separate daemon, which is really much nicer. But yeah, for the sake of simplicity, I have this. Our command line interface is not a small little sexy binary like ZEOS, for instance, but it basically creates a session. So you are switching into the ZEOS terminal now, basically. Yeah, in future versions we can definitely also separate that. But yeah, no worries about that. So then you type in alias authority. And what this does is it prints you the private key of the ZEOS alias account of the public permission, which is the one that we use to sign our transactions. And because we're using CLIOS under the hood, we need to be able to import this key into CLIOS, into our CLIOS wallet. And this is why I built this print command into the CLI. This is also just, again, this is all a little bit not so beautiful yet from a user friendliness perspective. But again, this is really just to showcase the protocol itself and not so much the UI. So, okay, what did we do? We printed the private key. Next is we have to create a wallet first for CLIOS. We just installed it, right? So let's do that. We call it wallet create, and then what it does is it prints you a wallet password that you should store at a safe place. I will just create a text file here real quick. I'll just call it secret.txt and put it here so that we can later unlock our wallet in case it locks. And then what we do is we import the private key of the public permission that we just printed here into CLIOS. And then here you can see imported private key for this public key, which is exactly the one we have here. So that went well. And then next is we're gonna create a new key pair in order to create a testnet account on the UX public testnet. So you type in this, and then you can see it spits out a private public key pair. And we take the private key already and import it already into our CLIOS wallet here. So that we have both keys there. One is for our personal testnet account, and the other one is just for the public permission of the ZEOS alias account. Again, if you don't really understand what this is all about, just forget about it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. This will be all transparent to the end user later. Again, we're in the very early stages of this, so this is just a first, UI tooling that I put together for people to be able to test it at all, right? Okay, then next we're gonna create our UX testnet account. And there is a very nice and convenient Telegram bot for that, which looks like this. UX testnet faucet. So there's a start button here, you just hit it. And then it should respond to you like this. And the command to create an account is this one here. Create account. And then we choose an account name, obviously. Let's just choose maybe demo account 1. And then we link our public key of this key pair that we just generated. Like this. And account created, great. Let's send also some UTX to it. Like this, and then demo account 1. All right. We can also send some UTX RAM, but I don't think we need it. So I think that should be good. And then the next thing is the ZEOS faucet, right? You can open it like this. And it works similar. You just type in your account name here. And that should issue you 10,000 ZEOS token in this account. And as you can see, when you get an output like this with a transaction ID, then it worked. So I can also close that. So now we have a testnet account for the UX public testnet. And we have some UTX tokens sent to it and also some ZEOS tokens. Next thing we're going to do is we create our ZEOS wallet. So now we have an EOS account. Next thing is we create the ZEOS wallet. And we do that by typing in wallet create. And then, yeah, you can type in name. You can just hit enter for everything. It chooses a random seed. Password checks are all disabled, so don't worry if that doesn't really do anything. This is just for convenience. Yeah. So after we created that, we leave it again to unlock our GNOME wallet. It probably is still unlocked, but I will just show it real quick. So after, if you don't use GNOME for a while, it automatically locks the open wallet there. And in order to unlock it, you just type in GNOME wallet unlock. And then you have to type in your wallet password, which was this one here from earlier. Yeah, okay, it was already unlocked, but yeah. Just to be sure, because again, if we want to execute some transactions now using the ZEOS CLI, it will use GNOME in the background. So we always need to make sure that our GNOME wallet, where we imported the public permission, and if you want to move assets into our ZEOS wallet, we also need to make sure that the other permission is there and that the wallet is unlocked. Okay, then in here we also need to unlock our wallet, the one that we just created earlier. If you didn't change the name, it should be default. And yeah, it doesn't even ask for a password here yet because it's not there yet. But again, this is just to demonstrate the protocol. Okay, so now so the ZEOS wallet is obviously empty. You can type in wallet balances, and then you see it's empty. Obviously, we just created it, and in order to move assets from your EOS account into the wallet, you type in wallet move. And then you type in the EOS account. So we just created one, right? Yeah, by the way, this is the Block Explorer. I'll just show you guys real quick the account that we just created. Demo account 1. And yeah, as you can see, we have 800 UTX tokens. And I'm not sure, does it also show? Yeah, it also shows the 10,000 ZEOS tokens that we just transferred into the wallet. And now we're going to move some of these assets from this EOS account here into our ZEOS wallet. So we type in our account name here, demo account 1, and then with a plus, and then you have to make a white space. That I might remove that. I found that that's not so convenient, but for now you have to make sure that there's a white space after the plus. And yeah, the plus means, the plus means that you move assets into your ZEOS wallet, and the minus means you would move assets out of your ZEOS wallet back into the account that you entered here. So we're gonna move assets into the wallet, and then let's say we move 1,000 ZEOS and 100 UTX into our account. You have to hit enter twice once you're done, and then it will generate the transaction. And as you can see, super fast, and then pushes it right away. And yeah, was successful. This is the amount of CPU that has been used, but we didn't pay for this with our account. So this account didn't pay directly for the resources, but it paid a transaction fee. So yeah, if you refresh the page, it should now show the mint action that we just executed. And as you can see, we were moving assets from our personal account into the ZEOS protocol account, which is the ZEOS for privacy account. We moved 1,000 ZEOS, 100 UTX, and then in order to call the mint action, we had to also transfer a certain amount, in this case 7 ZEOS transaction fee, into the ZEOS alias account. And only that made it possible to execute the transaction, because you can see there's more. This is the payment of the transaction fee. You paid it with your personal EOS account in this case, because you're right. This was not a real privacy transaction yet. We only moved assets into the ZEOS wallet. So you always pay with the EOS account you move the assets out of. And then we call the mint action using the ZEOS alias account and the public permission. Here you can see that, to execute the actual mint. And of course, this is not really private yet, as I said, because we only move assets into the protocol. But if you would now make a private transaction, maybe we just do that. So we now moved some assets into our account, right? So if you type in wallet sync, it synchronizes the wallet with the contract. It might take a second here. Okay, up to date. And then if you type in wallet balances, you can see now we have 100 UTX and 1,000 ZEOS in this particular ZEOS wallet. And if you type in wallet nodes, it will also show you the UTXOs. I mean, how these amounts here, these balances from here, how they are split into UTXOs. Obviously, in this case, we just created UTXOs, 2 UTXOs. But yeah, again, this is also something that's only interesting for people who want to know how this works under the hood. For the average user, it doesn't really matter how the amounts are being split. You want to have the same account balance kind of way of viewing things as a user from a user perspective. But under the hood, it all works with UTXOs. So this is the ugly thing about it, you could say. But there's no other way to build a protocol like this based on ZK Snark. Okay, when you type in, I just demonstrate that real quick as well. When you type in wallet addresses, it will give you all the addresses that you have ever derived. I think with address derive or something, you derive it when you type in wallet, you go into the sub menu, and then with help you can see all the commands, by the way. So we just used move in order to move assets into the wallet. There's balances and nodes, what we also use, the addresses, and wallet derives you a new address. So this is a new one. If you then type in addresses again, it will just, it will print the second address as well. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make a transfer. I just go back to the main menu because I like it more. So I always have to type in then wallet as well. So if we want to do a transfer, we type in wallet transfer, and we will just transfer assets to our own wallet address. Just because we don't know any other wallet yet. So, and just to showcase this, we can use any of these addresses here as a receiving address. But first we type in the amount. Let's say we want to move 10 UTX to this address. We can also move more if we wanted to. Let's say we also want to move. Let's just do it like this for the sake of simplicity. And again, you press another return a second time, and then it will execute it. Let's see. First of all, let's see here that when we zoom the wallet, it should show the same balances again. Wallet balances. No, of course, a little bit less, right, of ZEOS, because we had to pay for the transaction fee, right? I'm going to show that on the Block Explorer in a second. But our UTX amount didn't change because we transferred it to ourselves. But if you type in wallet nodes, it will now show you that you have 2 UTXOs of UTX. One is 90 and one is 10. And also, again, for the end user, it doesn't really matter. I just explained that for everyone who's interested. Under the hood, the way the protocol works, we now spend this one UTXO, UTXO, and but we sent the amount back into our wallet. So what it did now effectively is it just split the UTXO into two. This is the amount that we sent, and this was our change that we got back as well. So this is why you have now two UTXOs, but again, for the user, this is all transparent later. And yeah, just for completeness, here we have our Blog Explorer again. Let's refresh the page, and it should now show. So no, of course it doesn't show anything in your account, because only when we minted the assets, because we moved them from our account into the protocol account. So with our personal account, as you can see, you don't see any new transaction. This is still the mint transaction. But let's go to the ZEOS protocol account, which we have here, ZEOS for privacy. And yeah, as you can see, this was the latest transaction that we just executed. Let's expand on that. And then you can see, and yeah, I encourage everyone, when you try it out yourself, just try to see any link to your personal EOS account. And there's nothing there. So let's go through this real quick. The begin action, don't worry about that. There's always a begin and an end action. And within these two, all the other actions of the ZEOS alias account need to be executed. As you can see, there's a transfer action here, executed with the public permission. All of these alias actions are executed with the public permission. So there's no link to you as a user. And yeah, what you can basically see here, this transfer action is the actual transfer of the UTXO, which is the 10 UTX tokens. And if you remember this one here, and also the change also comes back. So this is all encoded, in this data here. Of course, I mean, I will not go into any more detail in that, but yeah, the point is that there's no link to your personal account anymore. The whole transaction was executed using the resources of the ZEOS alias account. So the smart contract paid for these blockchain resources. But it will only do that if you pay the transaction fee into that account, okay? And as you can see, it also came from the ZEOS privacy account. It effectively came out of your ZEOS wallet. As you can see, this was the 9 ZEOS that is now missing here. You paid that from your ZEOS wallet into the alias account, and on the blockchain it looks like this, that basically the ZEOS for privacy account paid this transaction fee for you. Because ZEOS for privacy, this smart contract is the custodian of all assets that are being held in private. So all the balances that people have in their ZEOS wallets here, all these assets are actually being held inside the protocol account here. So also when we later have, for instance, applications like the DEX that I'm building and which I'm going to release also on the testnet here very soon, you will, just for context, right? How are you private? Well, the blockchain transactions only show these smart contracts interacting with each other, but there's no link to any personal EOS account. And yeah, that's how we achieve privacy on these general purpose smart contract blockchains. So I hope I didn't forget anything. I always like to do it without cutting the video, that it doesn't produce too much work for our friend who's doing that. So thanks for watching, and I hope you are able to try it out for yourself now.